Thanks for staying with us. So, Nigerians have been calling for constitutional review for as long as I can remember, since the 2014 confab reports that we're talking about. So now we got an invite from the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria saying that May 25th and 26th, they're going to be having a zonal public hearing. Let me read exactly what the invite says. It says, the chairman and members of the Senate Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution cordially invites the general public and all government functionaries, civil society, professional bodies, and other interested persons to the public hearing on the proposed alteration to the provision of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 Constitution. Now, you and I know that if there's anybody that's talking about constitutional review are Nigerians.
Yeah.
Everybody has an opinion on how the Constitution should be reviewed. Issues of resource control, issues of education, issues of policing, local government autonomy. These are the various issues that people are talking about. So we would like Nigerians to call in this morning and let us hear your thoughts on this. If you'll be willing to attend, I mean, towards the end of the segment, we'll tell you the address where they hope to have these various public hearings across the country and all the various zones, the 6 political zones. But according to them, the issues they will be talking about, let me state a few, then I'll let the lady say the others. There's gender equity, increased participation of women and vulnerable groups in governance. So we've had that issue repeatedly saying that we don't have enough women represented in all our public offices, and we need that to be constitutionally done. A lot of women lawmakers have tried to push this forward, but they've had a pushback from their colleagues. And so there's a public hearing to come and discuss it, and it'll be a good time for civil society, women groups to come out at this time to come and express your interest and demand that review.
For me, it's number 16.
Okay, number 16.
Constitutional roles for traditional rulers. And I believe that we've gotten to that point in this country where there's a bit of, even when we asked the governor, Mr. Governor for Ondo State, there was a bit of constitutionally the local government is not clinical. Each state was able to choose the local governments. I feel that until we empower at the lowest level, traditional rulers, these have personal relationships with the people in their community. They have ownership. They understand the culture. They want to preserve the culture of their community. When we give them a constitutional role, we would have more ability to control the security challenges down into all the villages within our country.
Yeah, for me, it's number 3, local government administration, local government autonomy. You know, I think that local government chairmen should be elected by the people. So they should be people that are known, people who have influenced their community. And the citizens of every community, they have a right to pick who they want to lead them, not just being appointed by the state government. I know that they're talking about delisting, you know, the local governments from as a third tier, yes, you know. But then, even at that, I think even when the states have ownership where they can create the local government, I think they should be given that, you know, leverage to operate as a government on its own, so that the people within the grassroots can relate directly. We have a problem of not knowing who is leading us, not connecting to our leaders. So, but with that local government autonomy, I think we can solve that.
So staying on that a bit, so are we saying that if we are to attend, are we going to push for delisting? Therefore, the states have that authority to be the one to pick the number of local governments that's required by their population. Because what we have right now is a recognized tier. And then the federal government is the one that recommends how many local governments you can have based on what their capacity. But basically, if we agree on this delisting and we insist on delisting, it means that the states will be the one to create the various local government based on what the capacity as well as population and their revenue ability.
Yes, I agree with delisting, because it's the states that know how many local government that they need according to their capacity. So, but even after the delisting is done, it's important that the local government is given control to be able to run the affairs. They can always, you know, report to the state, but then they should be given that control. It's not the state that will be appointing their own person to run the local government. So delist it, let the state have control of it, but let the people elect their leaders.
Okay, which one of the reviews would you like to see?
Electoral reforms that will make INEC deliver transparent, credible, free and fair elections, political parties, and that's number 7. And for me, you know, I feel that that's just the beginning of any administration or any government. First of all, if Nigerians feel that the process in which we appoint, elect, and put people into office is free and fair, we would have even a more participatory electorate. So a lot of people do not come out to vote, do not register to vote, because they feel that in the end, it's not like my vote is going to be counted anyway. And we need to see a process that is very transparent. Nigerians need to know that my one vote really counted. I know where it ended up. Who I voted for is who that I see my vote end up with. We need to, I know that there are a few reforms that are being pushed right now towards the 2023 election. And for what I see right now is good, because it's asking for, you know, a more participation. So we're getting more polling units and making it accessible to people who they can vote. Then I also like the fact that they're already doing, there's going to be registration starting very soon. So that is also important, where there's enough time for people to register to vote, to make sure that all that's necessary for election period has been put down. So for me, that will be something I'll be adding my voice to. All
right, let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing what we'd like the government to review in our constitution, especially now that they've called for inputs from civil society, general Nigerians. It's an invite for us to come and discuss the various parts of our constitution that we need review on, because this has been part of the issues we've raised concerning insecurity, the fact that certain regions, certain groups feel marginalized, they feel they're not being equally represented in the scheme of things. Yeah. And a constitutional review, even seeing it and seeing that the fact that they're involving Nigerians, can begin to change the perspective of Nigerians towards these things.
Let me just read this tweet. And it makes sense. It says, about time, there's got to be more publicity on all media platforms. People may not even get to hear of this because news hasn't been anything majority looking forward to these days. So that is important, because I don't know how many, I haven't heard about this beyond, you know, our circle. And some of the people have discussed it outside this too. It was the first time that they had seen it when I sent it to them. Right. So I think that government needs, if you want more participation, we need to do better and make.
Now, there was a number 9 that I thought was interesting. The issue of residency and indigenship. I think that's really critical, because I remember the Governor Ganduje had said that, according to him, said there was a memo issued on the issue of indigenship, saying that should be removed from the Constitution and requalified, so that those contributing to the socio-economic development of their areas of residence should be regarded as indigents. Yes. So that has been an issue. I mean, and I'm happy that Governor Ganduje has said this earlier, but this is an issue where people always have that problem of being recognized. They'll tell you state of origin. And you're thinking, I was born and raised here, I work here, shouldn't I be recognized as an indigent of this state? So these are
I know that as a co-person, I've heard you say that we the people, So how does that sound to you?
So the thing is, because I have a family, and my family, when we are having family conversation, they remind me that you are Eko, your mother is from Eko, your father is from Eko, you are the indigent. And there's that pride of, listen, we are there before. But regardless, as we grow and into this cosmopolitan, for us to grow, definitely. But I think what my group will probably appreciate is a recognition. So there are those that, yes, they were there, there were settlers there, whatever, but recognize that we're here. But either way, we are all stronger together. And that's what this review is requires, that everybody must be seen as an indigent. Because you live and work here.
It will be a tough one to push, because many people have sentimental attachment, wrongfully, to where they are born.
Don't say wrongfully. It could be wrongfully.
Mariah, it's how we've been brought up and what the society has been. So this will be a major culture change for someone to realize that I was born in Maiduguri. Dr. Sinakitayo was born in Maiduguri. He was born in Borno, and that's where he grew up until he was mature before he came to Lagos. So if he decides to contest for political position, they will tell him to go and find his or your state or Ogun state. When in actual fact, he bears more affinity when the IDP, any crisis, if he's doing giveaway, he goes to Maiduguri.
Because that's his home.
That's his home. So we need to get to that point where we realize that people have loyalty to what they know. And what they know is where they were brought up. Yeah. But it will be tough because some people just feel like, I am my great-grandfather.
You know, I think this is going to, unite us.
Yes.
Because I go to, I travel and I hear people from different countries know themselves as, for instance, the Ghanaians who say, I'm a Ghanaian first before I am from this tribe. The other parts of the African countries will say, I am so-and-so person first as national. Before they don't even mention their tribe, except because we are used to asking, where are you from? In all of our forms, you want to fill any form in the banks, for your ABV and everything, they will tell you your maiden name, your mother's maiden name. And I have been here all my life. I was born here, so to speak. So why are you asking me to go back to my mother's maiden name? So this is one of the things that bring religion. If we want to work towards a one Nigeria, we should see ourselves first as a Nigerian. Our forms, for every form, whether it's schooling, whether it's your passport and all of that, should remove that state of origin. Yeah. It's not needed. So you are a Nigerian
special quota. Not that you score 300 in, you want to, because you want to enter a university that is not your state. You will not get it because you don't fall into the quota.
But see, there's also an argument because in the US, you see the Red Indians would always continually tell you that they were the original settlers.
Yeah.
So although Americans are called, I'm American, but the owners of the land will tell you that we were there before they're the natives. So there will continually be that friction.
We need to preserve our culture
between those who are there and those who came. So, and I think what will be great is the recognition. Preserve it, that yes, these were the original settlers. Either way, we are here together. So is that recognition that is lacking, that many people seem to have issues with?
You're right. In many ways, I think we're all right. So the world, in an ever-changing, ever-evolving world with intermarriages, because I keep wondering, there are so many people who are originally Igbos, but they speak Hausa so well. Right. That's all that they know. And then you have people who go off to NYSC. The reason, on one side, the federal government has created something called the NYSC, where people come from different places, they meet, some of them intermarry, and then you give birth to these children, and then one day something happens and you're saying, you are not from this place. So do I go with my father or do I go with my mother? So we have to put that into consideration in an ever-changing world. But also it is good to give recognition to natives. But my own is, to what extent? What's recognition? Because you have people who say, well, the VC of this university cannot be from any place. It has to be exactly from my place. The head of this hospital cannot be anybody. All these settlers, they have to be. So to what extent? How much of it should be the recognition that we give?
Yeah. Okay. I want to talk about number 2. The federal structure in governance and power devolution. So whenever we talk about restructuring, people, it means different things to different people. Yeah. But what we mean is that in terms of governance, a state to be able to determine how it wants to run the state, what resource they want to deploy for the next 3 years. A state can say, I don't want to do oil. I think that oil has caused too much pollution in my community. I want to give room for fishery. Let me clean up the oil over the next 3 years. Let's make money from something else.
This is what we need.
But the state determines that because they realize that maybe they're having health challenges based on the side effects of whatever process is going on. But we don't have that level of power devolution. There's the exclusively, there's concurrently, that whatever it is, we must be able to let people that have power be able to control the region they are meant to control. So power devolution is important, and we must put it in context and discuss it and get to a conclusive agreement, because we're always having this argument.
Okay, I have called Yakub, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Well,
you're live. Go ahead, please.
Well, I have an observation, please. The observation I have this one is that, please, Mario, anytime you bring on, especially governor or minister, the people that is head of power in this country, please, I would like you to give us some time to talk to the power, because I've been trying to talk to the governor of Ondo State when he was other side then, because he said something, and then I can relate it to this very particular topic, because I was so boring here when I heard him say that it was state that made the federal government. And then, in other words, the state can only choose to have any local government, also even cut it off. Morayo, why? Why? Because if you say that the local government should not be, And then the state should have opportunity either to appoint or to elect. See, Morayo, the state, we need the local government to be in this state because those are the people that are closest to the masses. Let me give you a typical example here. Here in Dokwebu, there is a one road from St. Joseph down to number 1. That road was so bad, to the extent that you dare not go to against the local government to complain that the road was bad. The local government chairman would not have turn you back and tell you that that road belongs to state. And then by that, I can tell you, Mr. Governor, that the local government made a state. If you can say the state made a federal government, include the local government made a state.
Yakub, let me explain something to you. You remember when the first Democratic governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, when he came and he met 20 local governments in the state. Do you remember that time? Then he tried to get additional 27. Now, okay, sorry, he's not the first. I do apologize. He's not the first Democratic governor. It's actually Jack Conde. My brain just took that up. Anyway, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's time. Now, the point is, what Governor Ogundo was saying is that the states are the ones that can determine how many local government they need. What we have right now is that because the Constitution requires 3 tiers, federal, state, and local, they determine and tell us, oh, you can only have 20. I remember that fight he had with the president at the time where they were insisting, and he was insisting he wanted to increase it, and they said no. And they withheld his funds. So what they are saying is that remove it from that as a third, delist it as a third tier, make it so that we as a state, but there's always a trust issue. There's always a trust issue of, can I trust my governor to create?
Because Mr. Yakub is still on the phone. When we discuss this thing, Mr. Yakub, please, when we discuss this thing, I was careful to ask the question because we must understand what this issue is. It is a money issue. The local government wants access to federal allocated money directly. The governors feel that they will not, it will not be used, it's not appropriated well, because a local government in a location might be getting money while they don't have number, and another location is getting the same money and they have like times 3 the number. Yes. So the government was able to say that, let me look at my states and break the local government to the way it will be effective. And then the funds will now go there. If we should clamor rights, we should be clamoring for delisting local governments and creating a democratic process for electing the local government within the state, so that each state is not be appointing a chairman. That's what we should clamor for.
Yeah, that's the right thing.
Do you understand that better now, Yakub?
Yes, I got you right now. Okay. But the problem now is that if that opportunity given to the governors, are we assured that it's going to be free and fair election to elect who we really love and like in our locality?
The checks and balances.
Because if you don't give us that opportunity...
So, thank you very much, Yakub. It's a trust issue. We always have that trust issue across board. Do we trust? Same way with police. If we give them the power to be in control of the police, but do you trust them to use it properly?
The beauty of having these conversations is that there will be checks and balances. So the people, we must find a way to put that checks and balances. The people of the state should be able to say, we voted for this and we see the numbers. Now, if anything goes wrong, we know where the problem is coming from.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, continue. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing the fact that the Senate has invited the public for a constitutional review meeting where discuss and share our thoughts on the review. BC, before the break, you're going to talk about...
item 10 for me, immunity, removal of immunity in prima facie criminal cases. So I think it's time for us to begin to act as equals, so that when you're in a position of power, you know that after that power, you'll be held accountable for everything that you've done. You can be probed, you can be prosecuted if you actually have carried out criminal activities while you were in power. It will help our leaders to understand that the people are watching and be on their toes, so that because there's this air of untouchable after they leave office, so they can do whatever it is that they do there and feel that when I'm done, I'll just feign illness and travel out of the country.
But this immunity,
Yeah, but
is it during as well?
I think
it's during as well.
It's better if it is during.
Okay, it could be during as well. Yes, okay, that could be during as well. So if you have that mindset that I'm here to represent the people, I'm here to serve, and if anything goes wrong, I will be held accountable to help you serve better. So I really like that part.
Yeah, well, I guess that also would mean that number 6 has to be very important, judicial reforms, and also number 13, strengthening the independence of institutions. So, of course, you need to have a viable, strong, independent judiciary for you to be able to prosecute the executive or the legislature for whatever criminal activities they will have carried out during their tenure.
Let me take Hassan.
For the governor, when we had him, that they didn't discuss the fact that the judiciary was still on strike.
Yes.
And it's a major issue.
Hassan, are you there? Thanks for calling.
I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please. Good morning.
Good morning to you all. Please, I would like to make a comment about two things. The outcome of the southern governors, and secondly, about the indigenship. The outcome of the one thing I point out there about security, I don't have a problem with them. I don't have any problem with them. But where my problem lies with them is about this Apapa Green Law. That means they don't even know what is happening in Apapa. For you to come out, all of you, to be talking about Apapa Green Law, a typical case of corruption fighting back. I'm really disappointed with them. The problem with Apapa is the problem of government agents, the FBA security, the police, the Navy, and all the people involved, state actors, are the ones, the problem of Apapa Green Law. If you can fight that one head on, everything will be over. It wasn't like this before. People have now turned that green law into a business to the extent that some people are going home with 2-3 million a day. How do you expect it to end? And these are government agents, private individuals inside. And you are telling me they are not coming over here to come and be telling us. The Lagos State government should be up and doing. Yesterday we heard of LAFMA and police fighting over who to take the extortion. It's a serious problem. If Lagos State government and federal government are ready, it will go in a jiffy.
All right.
Secondly,
Mr. Hassan, not to reply, not to defend the governor, but he clarified something. He said that the push is that they should open up other ports. If Ondo port is active, if there are like 5 ports where there are viable options to get your goods into the country, automatically Apapa will decongest. There are some things that you might not be able to fight the corruption, like the example of we cannot fight the killer headsmen or the gun-carrying headsmen. If we ban everybody, any headsman, you shouldn't be there. So that solves the problem. So this might be another approach to deal with the corruption fighting back.
For me, I just feel corruption can be transferred. If you do not deal with the source of corruption here, when you open up the other ports, you're going to have issues like that.
So I think it's time for even Nigerians in the diaspora to participate in this conversation because, listen, as much as many Nigerians are always skeptical and feel that nothing might come out of these meetings, but the truth is that we've been clamoring for a constitutional review. And I think it's a good time for us to show our own seriousness in this regard by coming or showing up at the event. I hope they stream it live. I don't have those details. It would be great to have it streamed live so that all the various regions where it's being held, you can actually see, you can participate. You can put your comments in the chat room so that people can actually see it, because sometimes it's like governance is one-sided. People must participate and show that we want to be part of this review process. And these things actually affect us. Interestingly, education is on the concurrent list. So both government and federal government and state are regulating it. However, but there are other critical issues within the educational sector that still needs to be reviewed. You know, and I would have liked for it to be part of what is being looked at, because I know that UBEC is the body that helps out with the basic education, and they have all the various state chapters.
And no government, no system, no country can succeed without developing its human capacity.
Yes.
So it is something that there must be a constitutional drive as a goal for this country, that we want to reduce the number of uneducated children we have. We want to increase literacy numbers in Nigeria. You know, so healthcare will benefit from education. When you have quality education, you solve security issues. The capital, what do you call this, a brain drain of our bright healthcare officials will reduce. And other things, infrastructure would improve. But the human beings, you use billions to build infrastructure. And you don't educate the human beings. They break it down. They are hungry. They break down what you have spent millions of naira building.
All right, let me take this call. Good morning. Are you there?
We lost that.
Sorry. He said there's a 2-day. Okay. It was talking about it's a 2-day. Yes, a 2-day event, and I'm thinking, I hope this is properly organized and properly done, and everything should be treated in segments, and everyone knows what the conversation is, where it ends, what the final resolutions are. So it's not just we are coming to come and talk from morning till night, and then we leave after 2 days and nothing comes out of this.
So for the North Central, now, if you guys can read from this, so I'll just read a couple. So from the North Central, there's going to be a Just Center to cover the Plateau, Nasarawa, and Benue states. Also in the North Central, they're going to have Mina Center. And they're going to cover Niger, Kwara, Kogi, and FCT. So they're going to announce the venues, the centers within those states. So it's going to be Just Center and Mina Center. Somebody else can tell us.
Southeast, we have Owerri Center, Imo and Abia, Enugu Center, Enugu, Ebonyi, and Anambra states.
Northeast, we have the Bauchi Center, Bauchi, Yobe, and Borno, Gombe Center, Gombe, Taraba, and Adamawa. And Northwest, we have the Kaduna Center, Kaduna, Kano, Jigawa, and Katsina. And then we have the Sokoto Center, Sokoto, Kebbi, and Zamfara.
So,
South-South?
We have South-South, Asaba, Delta, Edo, Bayelsa, and then we have Port Harcourt Center, Rivers, Cross River, and Akwa Ibom. Southwest, Lagos, Oyo, Ogun, Akure Center, Ondo, Osun, and Ondo. So I was waiting to see, like, if there are phone numbers that you can call, and I'm happy that there was email and phone number. So for Nigerians in diaspora, the email, yes, there is an email. Dr. Innocent Mabry is the committee clerk to the committee. So the email is CSCRS 8 NASS. That's SCRS 8 NASS at gmail.com, which means nobody has an excuse not to know when
there are numbers.
Enough of complaining on Twitter. Get involved.
And there are phone numbers too.
And there are phone numbers too.
If you'd like to participate, I have a call from Ireland. Henry, are you there?
Yeah.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. I just want to contribute a little bit about my country, Nigeria. And I'm congratulating you guys for good work you're doing.
Thank you, sir.
Problem of Nigeria is vote right. Any day, anytime, any day they are ready to allow citizens to choose whomever wants to govern them. Nigeria will be okay. That is the problem of Nigeria. All over the world, countries allow citizens to choose their right to choose whoever wants to govern. But Nigeria, your leaders, they choose themselves instead of them to allow them to choose. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Henry. You see, we've reached a stage where we've discussed the problem. All of us. On social media, everywhere on television.
Even our children.
Everybody, our children, those in the diaspora, we've all discussed and we enjoyed discussing the problem. They did this. They private jets. They are doing this. Nepotism. We know the problem. So we have reached a point. We are at a brink where we need solutions. And that's why the Southern governors came together, 17 of them, to meet. We are seeing activity happen. We're only praying it becomes action.
Yeah,
but now they're saying constitutional review. And they're saying, come together. So let us stop the talk shop. The office of and let us begin to go and tell them, this is what we want. So at the end of that review, We can now say, okay, we were part of that process. This is what we've agreed as a nation, because I'm actually weary and tired of going over and over. Participate, do this. So I'm happy that this is happening, and I would like that we're sharing it to Nigerians. Listen, let us participate. We at least say your own. If they now don't take your view, it's a different matter, but at least participate.
Yeah, I would have loved that they included how people who are, coming into office, people who are, before you are elected, your manifesto, you tell us exactly how you are going to work on the IGR of the state. You know why? So, when things happen, you see problems. It will be unfair to do things the same way and expect a different result. We now know that the federal allocation is not enough to go around the states.
It is to just strengthen the democracy. If you strengthen INEC, we will not vote the wrong person because we will hear.
The right
a lot of the governors say what they want.
They don't even tell us how they want to generate revenue.
We don't even ask those questions.
We don't ask those questions. So now we are aware to ask those questions, and we want them to put it down so that we can hold you accountable. We know the problems. Let us fashion out solutions to solve the problems. Let's not gloss over it and feel things will change if we do not follow up.
I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they were telling me, he said that, Mara, if I was governor, the first thing I'll do, I said, what? I'll first of all build a 5,000 capacity prison. My first job, just build first.
Why?
After that, I begin to arrest. All of you just throw them inside. Because sometimes, there's so many negativity out there that we need to just drive some sanity into us somehow. Mariam.
Yes, I was just wondering if anyone mentioned number 4, public revenue, fiscal federalism, and revenue allocation. We now know what we know exactly where we stand now with revenue allocation, where there's no money. So when you were talking about we need to understand when someone is standing for office, how they're going to generate revenue. Because there's no money to go and stand anywhere and collect.
So tell us how you want to bring out the one you have.
Okay, I have a call from Germany. Good morning, are you there? I think it's Douglas. Go ahead, Douglas. You're live. Go ahead, please. Don't listen to the TV, listen to me. Douglas, are you there? You're live. Go ahead, please.
Are you hearing me?
Very clearly.
Yeah. I'm not trying to complain.
He doesn't want to complain.
Oh, my. I really wanted to hear him. Do you have tweets, please? It would be great to have some tweets on this.
Okay, I think Mera says this is so important in building our nation. My school has to hasten the recruitment of a rector because the acting rector is only their wife and not their child, not minding the good atmosphere and quality she put in place in less than
that's indigenship.
Yes. Pat Restaurant said, you're absolutely correct. Our leaders have been playing lip service to the issue of Nigeria's unity. They really don't believe in the unity they claim to be promoting. It's worse with the current administration. They only preach unity when they are in power. Olayake says, we also need to talk about the minimum qualification needed for our elected officers in Nigeria.
That's what we
Their mental and psychological ability to govern and also to criminalize vote buying and sharing of gifts during elections.
You see, those are the kind of comments we want you to have. Tell us solutions.
Don't just think on Twitter.
Participate.
I
would like them to have those things live, and we're seeing 10,000 viewers from around the world. They know that
and they're going to employ technology. That's another thing.
I really hope so.
A bit analog.
We have to run, guys.